Hi, it's Steph, and I have got a Pride related activity for you today. Just because it's June, Pride Month, and as you can see, I'm not alone. I do have Sawyer with me today. Say hello, Sawyer.
Hello.
There you go. Um, and I've been specifically asked to do this for Belper Pride. Um, and I remember actually physically attending Belper Pride last year, and it was such a wonderful, wonderful day. It's beautiful, loved everything about it, and as with most things, it can't physically happen this year, which is such a shame. But it's so nice that there is at least an online version of it. So for all of the people who are tuning in right now, enjoying your Belper Pride, have a fantastic day. And as I say, I have got a little art activity for you. Um, I thought, squidging around here, um, we'd make a few pride flags. So I shall very quickly run through how we're going to make these. And Sawyer is Sawyer is currently making his own, which I will, there we go. So we'll come back to Sawyer a little bit later. So are we sitting comfortably? Okay. I will keep that there for the time being. First thing that you are going to need to do is we'll do the text first. And what I want you to do is I just want you to think of pride, issues surrounding pride, and just think of a word that you associate with that. And I am going to sort of say trying to think positively, because there's way too much negative stuff in the world at the moment, way too much. And going back to the pride events that I attended last year, they're the complete opposite of that. It was just full of sort of love and happiness and harmony, and so I want you to think of a word that you associate with it. And we're just going to use one of those words. And I think my big advice would be you may think of some lovely words. I was thinking of a few earlier before I put this together. And I was thinking of words like sort of welcoming and togetherness. They may be a bit long, and it may be quite complicated. So if you can think of a fairly short word, that would be even better. And if you desperately can't think of anything to fit that criteria, I don't know, stick your name down. Names work nicely too. So, as you can see on this one, I've used the word pride because it is Belper Pride. And I've used very chunky lettering. You can see I've kind of squished my letters together. It just sort of makes the whole thing a little bit more funky and interesting. So we shall stick that up there, which I know you can't see what I'm doing. My easel reaches to the ceiling. And I think, to go very simple, I don't know, I'll put the word love. That's quite short. And it may be advisable to use pencil first to do these lettering. And I'm going to write them quite big. So let's go. I do want my letters to overlap as well, so squish them around. And I'm going to make them kind of go up and down a little bit as well. So there's my O, a little hole in the middle. There's my V. I also like to mix up sort of my capital letters and lowercase letters as well. So just for the hell of it, we're going to go with a small e. Like so. And then when you've done them, you're going to need to outline them. And I just use like a black marker pen So I do this as quickly as possible. So I am doing this super quick, so apologies if things are a little bit wobbly. Like so. And that's falling off. I don't want that to happen. What I've also done with my Pride one as well is I've made the letters 3D. And a few people, I've done sessions like this for kids, and a few people really struggle with the 3D lettering. Simplest way of getting your head around it is with each letter, well, with the letters you need to pick left or right, top or bottom, and you need to stick to that. I tend to go left and bottom, and it's, if you imagine you're looking at all the letters from way down here, so because I've picked left side and bottom, it means that all of the left side of the letters are chunky and all of the bottoms are as well. And I know circles are a little bit tricky. So left side of that, bottom of that. I can also see the left side of that little bit of the letter as well, so that is going to be chunky. So left side of my E, underneath of my E. I'll be able to see the underneath of that bit of the E as well. And if you've got any letters with any holes in it, then sort of the opposite rules apply, because it's a hole. So that means I'll be able to see the top and the right hand side of the inside of that, like so. Same with that. And then, and I know depending on how long your word is, all these lines might be getting a little bit confusing, but bear with, it gets easier. You will need to shade in the 3D bit of your lettering. Which again, I am trying to do this as quickly as possible. Can you actually see what I'm doing? Maybe. How are we doing, Sawyer?
Okay.
Good.
It's the table, just making my colours all liney.
Oh, okay, that looks quite nice actually. But if you want to lean on something, grab a book. And don't worry where your letters overlap each other, just treat every single letter as an individual letter. So, for example, this O is going straight over this L. Like so, and we'll just do the inside of that O. And we'll go right down to that V. Like so, we'll go down that side of it. And along the bottom. And down this side. Whoops. And one more little bit. I'm lying, there's two more little bits. And down here. And in there. Like so. So there's my word. What I've done also on my Pride one again, just to kind of jazz things up a little bit, is I've added a few little love hearts in here as well. You can do that if you wanted to. You could put stars on there or any little additions if you wanted to. Right, Beanie?
Oh, it's
So he's got arm ache for colouring. So I will put, I'll put a little heart down here. And again, it just makes it a lot more interesting if you overlap things slightly. So I'm going to stick my heart in this little bit here. You can do these in pencil first if you want. Just for speed, I am going to be brave and just do it straight with a pen. I might stick one up here as well. And as with my letters, I am going to make this 3D. So again, left hand side and bottom of the heart is chunky. Like so, and then we'll go left hand side of that bit, left hand side of that bit, and bottom. And last bit. Okay. So I don't need a pen anymore. What you can do at this stage as well is if you've got any pencil lines that maybe you can still see, you can rub them out now. I've got quite a lot because I'm doing this very quickly. There we go, that'll do. Your next job is I need you to pick a flag to sort of go behind it, and do you still need this, Sawyer? Are you right?
okay.
Do you know what's next? Yellow's next. So I've printed off all the, well, not all because they keep adding to them, the LGBT flags, and there's lots of them. There's way more than this. It's quite mind-boggling actually when you look at it. And what I'm going to suggest is you either pick a flag that you personally identify with, or if you don't want to do that, or if you can't find a particular flag that you do identify with, maybe you could find a flag that represents somebody that you love. Could be like a friend or family that you support in. And I just thought that depending on how many people take part in this, if we can send in images of finished artwork visually, this might look quite nice. So I will stick this little document, I'll put a link down the bottom of my video. So if you do want to look at these, you can either look on the internet or I will make a link to this. So to do my little flag, I mean, as I am personally transgender, I'm going to pick that one. And nicely, it's quite a simple little flag as well. I don't know who devised these flags, but you know, if there's any lesbians watching this, I do pity you a little bit because you have to be fairly good at drawing. So I don't quite know why you've ended up with the short straw there, and you've got quite a tricky little flag to draw. Straight ally flag as well. That might get your head around that one. It might be quite hard. So let's move that out the way. So my little transgender flag has 1, 2, 3, 4, it has 5 stripes in it. And if you want to make life very simple, you could literally get a ruler and do your flag dead straight. just to again make them visually a little bit more interesting, I've gone with this sort of old traditional wavy flag for that one. So I'm going to do the same with this one. So how am I doing it? So I need 1, 2, 3, so I need 4 lines basically. I'll start with, let's go, I think what I'll do, some of these flags have got millions of little stripes across them. So I think to make life easier, it may be worth putting little marks on the edges of your paper, at least so that you know where you're starting and finishing. It will also give you a good idea of how to space them out as well. So I need 1, 2, 3, I need 4. So let's stick them in. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll do the same there. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I've just guessed those. I saw you got quite mathematical and got ruler out, but he did have more stripes on his flag.
Yeah, I have 6.
Do you want to just, can I just show people where you're at? So, so there you go. Sawyer's gone LGBT, and you are doing the, what flag is it? The gay flag.
Yes.
So there you go. Obviously, a lot more stripes. So
yes.
That's why he got quite mathematical. So right, I shall leave you to finish that one. Let's stick that up there somewhere if it will stick. So let's go wavy. Wavy flags, big advice. Do quite calm, subtle little waves, because if you go really up and down, that might get quite tricky. So I am going to very simply go, I'm going to go up there and down there, and then obviously my next little line needs to sort of roughly follow that curve. And we'll go one more. And final one. Whoops. Like so. What I'm also going to do is I'm going to do the very bottom of the flag, which I can snip off at the bottom. So that's going to go up there. That's going to go down there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. That one goes in there. So I might just chop that bit off there, and then that bit up there, like so. You can outline that if it makes life easier. Again, I'll do it quickly because you might not be able to see my lines. And we'll go in there. That up there. And down the bottom. And off the page and back on it again. So there you go, there's my flag. Next thing you need to do is add colour to your flag. So again, refer to the little sheet that I've just shown you, work out what colours you need. And I think the best way to colour these is probably not with felt tip pens, just because it's quite a large area to colour. Your pens might run out halfway through, which can be a bit of a nightmare. Crayons will work brilliantly. I have been using
There's a second layer.
Pencil crayons. They just work better. There is a second layer.
Yellow.
So here's one that I made earlier. Da, 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 da. So let's stick that on there. As you can see, same flag, different word. That's my dog barking. And so when you've coloured your flag, you then need to add a bit of colour to your letters. And my big advice would be pick a colour that is very different to colours that you've got on your flag, because you want it to stand out. So I'll just grab one at random. I'll go red for this one. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this. I'll colour the D and then I'll just explain how we're going to do it. I don't know, can you see that? So when you colour, I would add colour around the edge of all of your letters. Don't colour the whole thing in. And where they overlap, just treat all the letters individually. So I am colouring into the I at the moment, but that doesn't matter. I need to colour around that little middle bit of the D as well. Like so. And then when I go to the I, again, I am just going to colour around the edge. I'm leaving a white bit around the middle of my letters. And what that will do, I don't know, it kind of makes the letters look a little bit more three-dimensional. For me, they sort of look a little bit like graffiti writing, I suppose. And I would just keep going. So I'm going to stop now, because I'm sure you don't want to spend the next 10 minutes watching me colour. But anybody that has seen some of my videos knows that I do have a tendency to go on and on and on and on and on. So I'm sure you've got better things to do. So I'm going to stop after this V. There you go. And obviously, I would colour them all in. You can colour any sort of shapes that you've added as well. So do the hearts, and we'll go back to my pride one. So I've added colour to the heart, but I've not coloured it all in. I've left a little gap as well, just to make it a little bit more three-dimensional. And then if you have got any sort of wavy bits at the bottom, you can just trim them off. So I think that is me done. So I don't know how close you are, Sawyer.
I've pretty much finished my flag in the background, not my letters though.
Okay, I shall ramble on for 2 more seconds while Sawyer finishes his flag, so you can see what he's done. But yeah, have a fantastic Pride. Do send in your artwork. I'm guessing that they'll probably be asking you to send it in via the Belper Pride, Pride in Belper Facebook page. Corrections if I've got that wrong. But yeah, thank you for tuning in, and hopefully next year things will be back to normal and we can actually have a proper Pride with people. So Sawyer, how are we doing? There we go, there's Sawyer's.
Yay.
So thank you, I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you soon. Bye bye.